when the ship initially hit the sand with, getting slammed with the separation, divorce, and all that kind of stuff, restraining order, and not seeing my kids, the whole thing. I did kind of have okay, God, I'm going to be all in for you. I'm going to do everything I can, read my Bible, be involved in men's groups, just serve at the church however I can. And I didn't actually come out and say this or even really think it, but obviously I had this wrong expectation that if I did devote my life solely to God, that in 2 years he was going to put my life back together. So I'm like, okay, so who's really God here? I'm telling God how to do this thing and the time frame of it, and instead of really trusting him, and that actually led to some frustration with my faith.
Yeah.
In the midst of this, and so that was sort of a difficult thing I had to work through and realize that that's not really faith. When I'm trying to tell God how to do his job, I got to be humble and wait, be patient.
Yeah. It's so hard to not have to fall into that performance trap where your faith is works based. Well, if I do this, he's going to do that. It's like, no, it's just like the Father and Luke that you're talking about. No, he's open arms. He's like, look, just lean on me, man. I love you. And he's gentle and lowly and humble about it. And he's not vicious. And it's like, man, I suffered. I think suffering is such an important thing for our growth. And for me personally, when I suffered, I did the same exact thing. So it's refreshing to hear that other people's suffering grew them. So what other ways did suffering grow you?
I think you have to realize we don't. Some of our suffering is self-inflicted, are just dumb mistakes, right? Bad choices, and other people can be, I mean, obviously broken relationships are an example of that. Relationships can be the greatest source of joy and happiness. And now use those two together, which that's okay too, right? They're both,
Sure.
They're both good. But they can, relationships, obviously, anyone who's been divorced, they can be the greatest source of pain too. And so there's that. There's stuff you can do yourself. There's stuff others can do to you. But then there's just life. I mean, life is, I never promised you a rose garden, right? I mean, it's got to rain sometimes. And I mean, that's just life. I mean, I think I did actually try at times, like, okay, I'm going to pretend that there is no God, and just, I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm not going to be, wild and crazy and go off the deep end or anything, but I'm not going to go to church. I'm not going to read my Bible. I'm just going to live life the best I know how. Right. And, I tried that for a while and realized that, you know what, there's the same problems are still there. The same struggles are still there. So why not, if you have a loving Father who wants to help you through it? It's like you saying, no, leave me alone. I can do this. I can tie my shoes. Well, when you can't, and so you do need that help, and take it, So I think that was one of the big realizations that I, through the struggle, that I had to hit that, to give up my self-reliance.